First I have up is Ernestine Holloway.
Good afternoon, Chairperson, Co-Chairperson, distinguished people on this panel. My name is Reverend Ernestine Holloway, and I represent Refuge Temple Councils of Churches. I listen to what everybody have to say. I give everything a grain of salt, but you didn't address the youth. And I thought about how come nobody referenced that much of Colorado, being Colorado started this mess. My problem with this bill, and I'm on the fence, I have 29 years in recovery. And I'm the person that had more experience than most all of them that was up here. When you start using young, at 13 and 14 years old, I haven't seen you guys address those issues. You talked about adults. My issue with the bill is decriminalization of marijuana and the selling of marijuana or weed, cannabis, whatever you're calling it these days, should be a separate issue. It shouldn't be all lumped together. So are you decriminalizing it because it was wrong to charge them with excessive time, ripping apart families under the Clinton three strikes you outlaw? Are you doing it because you want to legalize marijuana because tolls didn't pass and you need the money? Those are questions that I'm asking myself. This is going to devastate our community. Our kids are using at 13 and 14 and 15 years old. Nobody's addressing those issues. I studied Colorado. Do you know that their illegal market increased 50% since they legalized it? 50% is a heck of a lot. And that's not tax revenue. Now they got the border of Mexico and all these other groups along that border that is producing and is trafficking inside the United States. Did anybody think of all this? Colorado have new addicts now, 13 to 15 years old, where they didn't have problems before. Nobody looked at also the edibles. You could buy them on Groupon. You can buy them on Amazon. Nobody's asking anybody's age. So you need to take all this into consideration. Where's the education piece to this? To the kids. Nobody's looking at this. These kids in Colorado from 13 to 15 are getting suspension. They're not drinking alcohol anymore. They're smoking weed. So congratulations, America. We got a new set of potheads. So then there's a new fellowship, because I go to the fellowship called Marijuana Anonymous, and I look at those young people. They're getting younger and younger. If you over 25 and you make this decision, that's your business. That's between you and God. But our job is to monitor the minors, to make sure they don't fall into addiction. I'm one of the blessed ones, 29 years. A lot of people don't get 29 years. So what are we going to do for the new generation that's coming along?
Thank you, Reverend Holloway. Questions from the committee? Seeing none, thank you for being, down the end. Representative Smith, sorry about that.
No problem. I'm late to raise my hand, but I just wanted to thank you for sharing your thoughts. I mean, I was sitting up here thinking the same thing, and I was going to address some of those questions that you raised about our youth, because really that's, this committee has dealt with that issue on a number of different matters that come before us. Who is an adult, who is not an adult, when does the brain actually develop for a youngster? We raised the criminal age in some of our laws because we're saying the brain doesn't develop to age 25. Now we're talking about legalizing marijuana at age 21. So obviously there's some inconsistencies here. I just wanted to thank you for reminding the committee that there's a whole population out there that will not be protected by this if this goes into law. So thank you for your comments.
So what they also, and I agree with you, I listened to everything they said because I'm a good listener. They told me you got to listen and pay attention if you know what you want to speak about. I listened to, I can't even pronounce your name, but she's number 70. She asked some good questions. The tax on this, how is it going to affect the municipalities? My question is, because I'm an advocate and I deal with kids, and I love Dennis Rodman, but I look at him, he started using as young. His mind is just not there. You see how young people, when they smoke weed, they talk about skunk, they talk about rosebuds, they talk about white lily, blue lily, green this, and all these things. And it's chemicals on top of the THC, and you can't really, did they smoke it yesterday, or did they smoke it tomorrow, or was it last week? You know, there's so many questions that we need to question on this before we legalize anything. Because guess what? They're tomorrow's future. They are future senators. They are future doctors. They are future lawyers. But if they all pot out, what good are they going to be? You know, I'm fortunate. I realized I had a problem and I went and I got help early. But everybody don't have that adult to say, hey, listen, you out of control. You need some help. Where's the education piece on this? This is my concern. How do we tell kids, yes, it's legalized for adults, but it's not okay for you? So that makes us double-minded as Americans. You can do it, but because you're a kid, you can't. So kids don't listen to what we say. They watch what we do. So what's going to happen to, because Colorado got people that are ODing off the edibles. People, your son goes spend the night at my house and I got edibles in the refrigerator and it look like gummy bears and they eat it. These are things that we're not talking about.
Thank you, Reverend Holloway. Representative Smith, do you have any follow-up questions, or you good?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Thank you. Further questions from the committee? Seeing none, Reverend Holloway, thank you for being with us.